It's a journey out to the land of discovery. Just surrender by the Spirit directly. We can get there. Awakening one morning, a fresh new start, second chance for glory. Awareness of the sun. A new day has just begun. 'Cause it's a journey up to the land of discovery. Just surrendered by the Spirit directly. We will get there. What you gonna do today? Follow the path of truth, I'd say, but bring it on down. Silence helps to hear his sounds. 'Cause it's a journey up to the land of discovery. Just surrender, embody the Spirit directly. We will get there. Oh, 'cause it's a journey out to the land of discovery. Well, so just surrender, embody the Spirit directly. We will get there. Yeah. It's a journey out to the land of discovery. Just surrender, body the Spirit directly. We can get there. 'Cause it's a journey, oh, out to the land of discovery. Well, just surrender, yeah, and follow the Spirit directly. We can get there. It's a journey out to the land of discovery. Well, just surrender, and follow the Spirit directly. We will get there. We can get there. We will get there. We can get there to the land of discovery.
Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver's online Sunday service. We are a loving, prospering community in the heart of Capitol Hill and online. And as we continue to meet online, remaining connected as a community is of the utmost importance. Here at CSL Denver, Reverend Alzia, our practitioners, everyone involved is looking for ways so that we can stay connected as we explore our reemergence to face-to-face services. Over the coming weeks, we invite you to stay with us in our virtual fellowship immediately following the service. And if you're new to our community, what a great way to get to know people. Drop into our virtual Zoom fellowship right after today's service. If you have a previous link, that'll work. If not, send a quick email to info@csldenver.org and we'll be sure to get a link to you right away. While you're hanging out at the virtual fellowship, you might meet one of our professional practitioners. And please know that our practitioners are here to pray with you. Our names and phone numbers are on the website. Our email addresses are there too. You can get in touch with us and schedule a time to consider what's working in your life and how you can use the power of a spiritual affirmative prayer to light up your life. Before we go today, we do want to say thank you one more time for all the financial support that all of you are sharing with the Center for Spiritual Living Denver. It means so much to be able to keep our virtual doors open and prepare for our reemergence to in-person services. And speaking of which, we'll keep you informed of any developments in that arena through our newsletter. Please jump on over to our website, csldenver.org, and sign up for our newsletter. We promise to only send one message a week, and it shares with you the important highlights of what you need to know to stay connected here with CSL Denver. All right, folks, that's about all we have for today in announcements. Let's get right back into the music with more by Freddy Rodriguez Jr.
Yahweh is the way, Yahweh here to stay, Yahweh he'll relate, Yahweh. Yahweh is the way, Yahweh use his grace, be open to his ways, Yahweh. Yahweh is the way, Yahweh here to stay, Yahweh, he's the way, Yahweh. Yahweh is the way, Yahweh uses grace, be open to his ways, Yahweh. Yahweh. Yahweh is the way, Yahweh here to stay, Yahweh he'll relate, Yahweh. Yahweh is the way, Yahweh uses grace, be open to his ways, Yahweh. Yahweh uses grace, Yahweh. One more time. Yahweh is the way, Yahweh here to stay, Yahweh is the way, Yahweh. Yahweh is the way, Yahweh he'll relate, be open to his ways, Yahweh. Today, Yahweh, today, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh.
Good morning. I'm Tim Hancock, practitioner here at Center for Spiritual Living Denver. And I invite you to close your eyes for the invocation. And as we close our eyes and we go within to where we are centered with the one Spirit, the divine that we know as God. And in that center with God, we know we are safe. We know we are love. We know we are compassion. We know we are joy. We know we are prosperous. And as we move through today, we remember all of the events of the last week. And we hold in our divine prayers those affected by the events in Boulder. We know that perfect healing is taking place here and now. And we begin that healing with ourselves. As we heal ourselves, we heal the world around us. As we love ourselves, we love the world around us. As we experience joy in ourselves, we experience the joy around us. As we experience the abundance of the universe, we experience the abundance around us. And we share all of that with all humanity. We know, we absolutely know that healing is taking place on this planet. And I am so grateful for this revelation. And I know that this service is blessed with the words of Eugene and the technology of Diego and the support of Alice, our practitioner, and Reverend Elzia, as well as the words of the reading today from me. That all is blessed. We know that we are all blessed who are attending this service, as well as all those who are attending any other spiritual service throughout the world, or even just sitting in your home in quiet solitude, having a cup of coffee. You are blessed. So we move into this service with gratitude, knowing that all of the love comes back to us that we put out tenfold. And so it is. And for our reading today, it's from a book titled New Beginnings by Sandy C. Newbigging. When I look at caterpillars, I like to imagine that they dream big and bright and about how they'd like their lives to be. I take inspiration from the possibility that they choose to ignore their current set of circumstances and instead focus their attention and efforts on manifesting their dream life. Instead of beating themselves up about what they are to begin with, caterpillars appear to accept themselves in the knowing that they need to start where they are to get to where they want to be. By allowing themselves to dream big about how they want their lives to be, they allow themselves to fulfill their potential by evolving into the beautiful butterflies they were destined to be. Many people stop dreaming because they forget to enjoy the thought of what they want, and instead cloud their vision by focusing too much upon how they're going to get it. They base their future upon the past and focus on the reasons why they probably won't get what they want. In doing so, they quickly talk themselves out of pursuing their dreams. They fail to learn from the little caterpillars by accepting their current set of circumstances and asking, how would I like things to be from now on? And from our founder, Ernest Holmes, from a lecture in 1958, Help for Today, when the wires are all down and your heart is covered with the snows of pessimism and the ice of cynicism, then only are you grown old. Whatever your years, there is in every being's heart the love of wonder, the undaunted challenge of events, the unfailing childlike appetite for what's next, and the joy and the game of life. You are as young as your faith, as old as your fear, as young as your hope, as old as your despair. In the central place of every heart, there is a recording chamber. So long as it receives messages of beauty, cheer, and courage, so long you are young. And so it is. And now back to Freddy Rodriguez with a new song titled God's Child.
You are a God's child now. Ooh. You have the gift and power. Ooh. You are a God's child now. Ooh. Feel all its love and power. Ooh. Free from all the doubt you know. It can be so, it can be so. With endless possibilities that will take you far beyond. Universal power like the sun we will shine on. You can be sure. You are a God's child now. Ooh. You have the gift and power. Ooh. You are a God's child now. Ooh. Feel all its love and power. Ooh. If you knew with certainty, Spirit is pleased. Acceptance without question is what we're all looking for. It's always been inside you, in your heart and in your soul. You can be sure. God's child now. Ooh. Feel all His love and power. Ooh. You are the God's child now. Ooh. You have a gift and power. Ooh. You are a God's child now.
Thank you, my brother, Freddy Rodriguez. Man, call me, brother. Whew, good morning, CSL Denver. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, everybody, no matter what platform you may be checking us out on. I am glad that you're here. I am Eugene Holden, religious science practitioner, inspired to be just all that we can be. So let's jump right into it. So this month, let me slow down here. I'm a little excited about today. So this month we have been talking about open to possibilities. There was one week where I talked about when you find yourself with your back against the wall, turn around and open the door, right? So Dr. Holmes, to quote Dr. Holmes, he said often that there is a power in the universe greater than we are and we get to use it. That there is a power, call it what you want to call it, universal intelligence, call it God, or as Freddy said in one of his songs, Yahweh, call it Krishna, call it Allah, call it Allah, call it whatever we want to call it. But recognize that there is a power in the universe that we get to use, that we get to use. That same power that causes the sun to shine is the same power that beats your heart. That same power that I love this, that causes the earth to spin on its axis perfectly at what they say 27 degrees, is that same intelligence that speaks your word. Dr. Holmes also said that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life. That life is your life. That life is our life now. No matter what that life is, no matter where that life is, God is our life right here and right now. And so today we are talking about open to possibilities, commit to transformation. Commit to transformation. So we are living in some beautifully interesting times, right? With COVID-19 going on, the vaccines are doing what they're doing. Everything is because life just continues to move. It continues to evolve. No matter what the appearances are, life is always evolving. So we want to be open to the possibilities of what is showing up. And as I've said often, we don't want to get snagged by the weapons of mass distraction. Right? We don't want to get pulled in by what the media is harping on all the time. And that's not to say that we are going to turn our vision away or bury our heads in the sand to what's going on. You know, the atrocities that happened in Boulder this past week. You know, we don't want to ignore that. You know, we don't want to ignore that there's still, human trafficking going on around the world. We don't want to ignore that there's violence happening all around the world. But what we want to do is we want to stay anchored in the truth that there is a power in the universe greater than we are, and we get to use it. And we're open to the possibilities of how we get to use it, right? Because there is only one life. No matter what the appearances are, that life is God's life. No matter what it may look like, that life is perfect. No matter how it may appear, and that life is my life, your life now. Now, are we open to the possibility of tapping into something even greater, tapping into something even deeper than who we are, right? If I really embody what Dr. Holmes talks about when he says that there is a power in the universe greater than I am and we get to use it, if I really embody that, then now I want to be open to the possibilities on how I can use it, right? Here's what I love about being divinely human and humanly divine. We have been gifted, we have been endowed with this beautiful gift of choice. I get to choose how I take the events of the day, right? I get to choose whether to get sucked in, as I said, by the weapons of mass distraction, or I can use what I am being bombarded with. I'm going to use that word, bombarded with, on the news media. I get to use that for maybe a prayer request. Maybe that's the time for me to go within and know something higher. You know, I came across this reading by Greg Braden and talks about the gift of the blessing. And so I'm going to use this experience that we just had in Boulder with the shootings. And the gift of the blessing is this. We want to bless the people who were involved. We want to bless those who were shot. We want to bless their families. right? And then we want to bless the perpetrator, right? So we're blessing the person who was involved, who got killed, then their families. We're blessing them, and then we're blessing the perpetrator, the gunman, and his family. And then we want to bless the observers, which is us. Right? So this is the gift of the blessing. Now, that was a real quick way on how that goes, but I am going to invite you to really sit down and go through, blessing everybody, and then blessing the shooter, and then blessing us who have observed it. And as we sit in that vibration of blessing, that is a way that we get to start to heal or continue to heal, because the healing has started, many years ago, but it's a continuous evolution of healing. So are we open to possibilities to change? As I said earlier, when you find that your back is against the wall, turn around and open the door. But I don't mean just open the door to possibilities. I talk about opening the door to infinite possibilities, unlimited potentiality. When I look at physically having my back up against the wall, and I turn around to open the door to possibilities, what that also symbolizes is I am no longer looking in the direction of the effect. I am now turning away from the effect, not ignoring it, but turning away to look into a different direction where I want to experience a deeper sense of harmony, a deeper sense of peace, a deeper sense of love. There is a spiritual science. You may not have heard it put this way before. There is a spiritual science that we are all called to practice, and we know what it is. It's called compassion. It's called compassion. Now, we cannot practice this science of compassion without the willingness to transform. Dr. Ernest Holmes said, change your thinking, change your mind. Right? Change your thinking, change your mind. But this is nothing new. Remember, this is new thought on ancient wisdom, because in the book of Romans, it says, do not get caught up in what's going on here. This is my translation of this. The actual verse will come to me, I'm sure. Here it is. Do not conform to the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not conform to the activities of what's going on here. Let's not get caught up in what's going on, but let's transform ourselves. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Let's have a new thought. So what is it that you really want to experience? Now, this is not magical thinking. I'm not talking about some woo-woo stuff here, all right? I am talking about something that has been within us from time immemorial. That's something that we were born with, something that we were created with. And what happens is that we start looking for happiness and joy and the source of all that outside of us, and we don't need to look for it outside of us because it is always within us. Are we willing to commit to transformation? Which is the other part of the name of the talk, right? Commit to transformation. Are we willing to commit? Are you willing to commit to change your way of thinking, to change your way of looking at what's going on in the world? I had to ask myself, and I ask myself this almost every day, am I willing to change how I am looking at what's going on here, right? Am I willing to not get caught up in all of the ugh, right? Or because we have this gift of choice, or do I choose to commit to transforming? So what does transformation look like, right? Transformation, and you answer this specifically for yourself, right? So you can say to yourself, what does transformation mean to me? What is it? Oh, I like that one, Spirit. Thank you. What is it in my life that needs to be transformed? What is it in my life that needs to be changed? So that I may be an instrument, a vehicle or even like Yeshua Messiah, an example? How can I transform to be an example of grace, of beauty, of forgiveness, of compassion? Yeah, see, I know that there's a lot of stuff going on, not just here in the United States, but around the world. We are living in beautiful times here, my brothers and sisters. Right? We are living in some beautiful times. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, no doubt. But the stuff that is going on is an invitation for us to transform. You know, do I want to stay stuck in this stream of complaining and bitching and moaning? Yes, I said bitching and moaning. Do I want to stay stuck in this stuff? Because if I choose to stay there, then I'm going to create more of that experience, right? Because there is a power in the universe greater than I am, and I get to use it. And it responds to us by corresponding with our thoughts and our feelings, especially our feelings, right? I can think all day that I am compassionate, but if I am feeling that y'all can kiss my cuckoo, cuckoo, then I'm going to get that experience of negativity. Right? So commit to transformation. Now, what does it mean to commit? What does it mean to commit? I commit to transforming my life. So let's break it down when we talk about committing to exercise, right? Which means that I want to get up every day or maybe 3 or 4 days a week at 7 a.m. and get on the floor to do my workout. That's a commitment, right? Now, many of us have no qualms about committing to our physical exercises, right? Many of us don't have any qualms about committing to our dietary needs and how we're going to eat differently. But how many of us are truly committed to exercising our spiritual body? How many of us are really committed to our prayer and our meditation? And I don't mean the meditation of going out walking and gardening, and all of that is good. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's not. However, I want to invite all of us to commit to the meditation of the practice of getting still and listening to the divine intelligence that has always been within us. Are we ready? Are we willing to commit to that exercise every day? It has been said that prayer is when we speak to God, Spirit, whatever you want to call it. Prayer is when we speak to God. Meditation is when we listen. Going back to the ancient wisdom, be still and know. Be still and know that I am the Lord thy God in the midst of you. That's beautiful. In the midst of you. There's another saying that has been attributed to the Greeks, but it's not from the Greeks. It's actually from the ancient Africans in Egypt. It's written on the temples there, one of the temple columns, and it says, know thyself. But that's only partial. It says, know thyself so that you may know God. Are you ready to commit to transformation? Now, this is not something that can happen just like that, right? It's not an easy thing. It takes commitment. It takes a willingness. Now, does it seem like it might be hard to do? Yeah, it might seem like that, but it is not impossible because there is this infinite intelligence within us that is waiting for us to say, yes, I surrender. Oh my God, I surrender. Because this I cannot do by myself. Again, going back to Yeshua, of myself, I am nothing, right? You know, the words that I speak, they are not mine. The works that I do, they are not mine. So if Yeshua is talking about that these works are not his, then what is he talking about? He is talking about there is a power in the universe greater than we are, and we get to use it, right? And we open up our hearts and our minds and our souls so that we can allow it to use us. Now, as we allow it to use us, we become the living examples. We become the brilliant illuminations of pure spirit. We become that beautiful way That spirit gets to live and to move and to have its being in, through, and as us. Are you ready? Are you willing? Are you able to commit to transformation? What is ready to be transformed in your life now? What is ready to be let go of now so that you may shine your light even brighter? What is knocking on the door of your heart, saying, let me out so that we can shine? And in order for us to allow that to open up, to allow that freedom to shine, we must be willing to commit to transform our lives. One of the ways that we can transform our lives is to quit the complaining. Right? We get to let go of judging. We get to let go of this thought of separation, meaning us and them. We are by nature unity. By nature, we are all unified. A simple way that I express it, or explain that I should say, a simple way is that we all inhale and exhale. We all do. We all do. Yeah, right? You cut ourselves and we bleed, right? We lose a loved one and we cry, right? Because we are all in this beautiful thing called life together. Are we ready to commit to transform? It is time for us to raise our consciousness, to raise our vibration, to use that science called compassion. In closing, another line by Yeshua Messiah. It was like, and I use Yeshua a lot because not that I look at Yeshua as the exception. No. He was the example, right? Do it in the name of Yeshua means to do it in the nature of the way that person did it. From the Aramaic translation, name means nature. So when I do it in the name of Yeshua, I am doing it in the way that he did it. And what did he do? He always went to God first. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. So one of the other things that he said was, if I am lifted up from the world, I will draw all others unto me. Meaning, let's raise our vibration above the materialistic world that's going on. Let's raise our vibration and our consciousness above those weapons of mass distraction. Let's raise our vibration above what seems to be holding humanity down so that we may be the example and the living light of the living love that will transform the world. Are you with me? Of course you are. I'm hoping you are. I'm praying that you are, right? Because as we come together, we, you, me, we can change the world. One person, one heart, one word at a time. Be open to possibilities. Commit to your transformation. Let's pray. Whew, man. How good it is. How good it is to stand in this vibration of gratitude. Thank you, Spirit. I am so grateful for this moment. I am grateful for this breath. Because in this moment, in this breath, I get to speak this word, recognizing first and foremost that there is a divine intelligence that governs the universe, and it does this through divine law and unconditional love. I recognize that this one power, this one presence, this one life is living, moving, and having its being in, through, and as everything that is seen and unseen, everything that is known and unknown. All there is God. And so recognizing that this infinite intelligence is everywhere, present at all times, I know that at all times it is present right where I am. See, there's no separation in here. This is not the life of God separate from my life. It is the life of God revealing itself in, through, and as my life. And as I know this to be the truth of my life, this is the truth of each individualized expression tuning in today. And even those that are not tuning in today and they are worshiping somewhere else in a mosque or a temple or a church or a synagogue or maybe just on a hike, right where they are, God is, because there is no separation. All there is God. And so it is from this awareness of our oneness in God that I speak this word for, thank you. I speak this word for brilliant in divine right activity. And this divine right activity is about raising our consciousness, having the willingness to transform our lives so that we may be the example of unconditional love. I speak this word knowing that this divine right activity is happening in divine right order, which means that we don't have to look for when and how and where it is done. We just surrender to knowing that it is done, because in divine right order, it must result in divine right outcome. Why? Because there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life. That life is your life. That life is our lives now. Now is the appointed time. And so knowing that we let go of any and everything that no longer serves us. We let go willingly of all the things that are not in tune or in alignment with our highest good. We surrender that and allow all of that to fall away into nothing, because it has no power here. All there is the power of the infinite intelligence of God, living, moving, and having its being in, through, and as us. This is what we rejoice in. This is what we celebrate. We celebrate our commitment to our transformation. Be ye therefore perfect as a Father, Mother, God within is perfect. Be ye renewed or transformed by the renewing of our minds. We have a new thought. So knowing that this word is already blessed, knowing that this word is already made flesh, knowing that this is answered prayer, I give great thanks. It is from this vibration of gratitude and thanksgiving that I now release this word into the beautiful and dynamic activity of love and law, knowing that as this word is released into the law has no other choice but to take these words and mold them and blend them and mend them and shape these words and then return these words unto us, not void or empty, but absolutely and completely fulfilled. And so fulfilled, we declare and allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Take a breath. Peace and blessings. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Eugene. And I say this from my heart. You are a true gift to Center for Spiritual Living Denver. Absolutely beautiful. And now it's time for our offertory. We are so grateful and blessed for everyone's support of CSL Denver, whether it's in time, treasure, or talent, and especially during this time of change. Whether this is your first time joining us or you're a returning community participant, we want to thank you for your continued financial support of the important work that we're striving to provide. Right now, there are several ways you can make your financial contribution to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver. The information is running along the bottom of the screen. You can mail a check to that post office box, or you can go online to csldenver.org and make a contribution, or text, and the text number is on the screen. And if you haven't already done it and you shop at King Soopers and or Amazon Smile, you can link your account to Center for Spiritual Living Denver. And then our center receives a percentage of all the proceeds. Email us if you'd like more information on this option. Now, please gather your consciousness and your contribution in your heart and repeat with me our affirmation. This perfect gift is spirit and form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive. And so it is. And now I'd like to thank you all for attending our service. We have a few announcements here. With all that's going on in the world these days, sometimes we need prayer support. Here at CSL Denver, we want you to know that we're here for you. to celebrate and hold space for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for prayer work with you, and we would love to pray with you. Our names and phone numbers are on our website at www.csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, you may email it to info@csldenver.org. And as mentioned in the beginning of our service, we're having our virtual fellowship on Zoom this morning. It'll be right after the service. If you did not receive the Zoom invitation this morning, please send an email to info@csldenver.org and mention fellowship. We'll send you a Zoom invitation right away. And a reminder that over on New Thought Media Network, they're offering Science of Mind and Spirit Lecture Series on the Science of Mind textbook. Check with them on their YouTube page. Reverend Elzia and Robert are some of the lectures for this series. This happens on Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And it's just a nice way and a wonderful way to revisit or get to know the Science of Mind textbook. Our New Thought Media Network also has a lot of programs by different practitioners and ministers. Check them out on Facebook and YouTube. And meanwhile, we affirm right here and right now that 2021 is blessed and perfect in all it is. We love you and miss you. Please take care of yourselves. And now let us close out with more music from Freddy Rodriguez Jr.
I can see God's way of life for me. Visioning, so I can see God's way of life for me. Oh, visioning, so I can be the kind of life that God wants me to be. Visioning, so I can be the kind of man that God wants me to be. Visioning, so I can see God's way of life for me. It's inside of me. It's planned for me.